Hey everybody, the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled in a 5-4 decision that Trump's Muslim travel ban, banning visa holders or banning the issuance of visas to people from 6 predominantly Muslim countries is constitutional. I had sadly predicted this back even before the Supreme Court had said that they were going to allow it to go into effect while they heard the appeals. I give great respect and tremendous admiration for the lawyers who brought these actions against the Department of Justice and the Trump administration specifically when it comes to challenging these proclamations. We're now in the third proclamation, and the Supreme Court has upheld in a 5-4 decision with Kennedy, Alito, Roberts, Clarence Thomas, and of course Neil Gorsuch as the fifth deciding vote, the seat that was taken from the Merrick Garland that should have been processed by Mitch McConnell and the Congress. In a 5-4 decision, the Supreme Court has held that it is constitutional for President Trump to ban classes of people by nationality. And I had thought that this was going to happen. I thought that the president's power when it comes to immigration is that broad. And I thought that the arguments that were winning below, specifically that the president's rhetoric as a candidate could be incorporated into public policy and that could be used to challenge the legality of the proclamations was faulty. I never thought that was going to fly. And I certainly thought that I understood the arguments, and I actually agree with the arguments. I think that the things that the president said as a candidate and now as a president are certainly troubling, but that the at the end of the day, the question that this particular Supreme Court was going to ask is, was it constitutional? Was it legal? Did President Trump violate the Constitution, and did he violate the Immigration and Nationality Act? And I was always worried that the Supreme Court was going to say that the president has broad discretion as to who is allowed into the United States and that the ban would be upheld. And now it's been upheld. And I think that at the end of the day, in the future, this is going to be this decision by Justice Roberts, the Chief Justice, upholding this ban and discriminating against the relatives of U.S. citizens from around the world is going to be viewed right up there with Korematsu and Dred Scott and some other of the really horrible Supreme Court rulings when it comes to not just immigration, but racial relations, religious relations, and that at the end of the day, this is going to be really viewed as a disgusting decision. I understand the decision. I understand the legality of it, but this really gets to the question of, these laws that are passed by men are flawed and they should be challenged, and we were right to challenge them, and I'm glad that people did challenge them. We'll now have to see what the aftermath of this is. Trump said that this was going to be a temporary thing while they, quote, figure things out. I think it's a hateful, misguided, and discriminatory decision that's going to affect a lot of my clients very harshly. I have a couple in particular that are family members of U.S. citizens that are trying to get here, spouses and parents. And the State Department has had those cases on hold, and I guess they'll continue to have those cases on hold. Trump allegedly has a waiver system which so far appears to be a complete and utter joke. So I expect that there'll be legal challenges to those as well, and maybe we'll be raising those in some of our litigation matters. But for now, the Supreme Court has held in a 5-4 decision by 4 white men and Clarence Thomas that the U.S. Constitution and the Immigration Nationality Act allows the president, such as President Trump, to ban classes of people based on nationality and nothing more. There's nothing particularized about each visa applicant that is requiring them to have their visas denied. And so my question for the supporters of President Trump is, how would you feel if you had a spouse who followed the law, who just wanted to be here and wanted to come to the United States? Why? Because of your blatant racial animus and your sweeping generalizations, that you're going to deny people the ability to be with their mother or father, or to be with their spouse, or to be with their child. I think it's disgusting. I will continue to fight. I will continue to litigate the crap out of these cases to the extent that I can, and I'll be looking for allies to keep up the fight. Till then, pay attention, stay woke, stay paying attention to what the Trump administration is doing. There's going to be a lot of smarter people than me talking about this, but for now, I hope you found this video useful, and we will continue to talk about what's right and what's going on in immigration land. So thanks for being here, and good night.